Oh, Bunny, you're so popular. You got a sequel, a prequel, a sequel prequel, Bunny. I read Mona Awad's We Love You, Bunny, her follow-up to the massive hit that was Bunny. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Blaine Christopher, and this is Blaine's Book Club. This video will contain a lot of quotes from the book, because Bunny, I want to support my critiques, please. That's my Bunny voice. Do you like it? I'm not going to reveal huge plot moments, or the ending, or really give any summaries from the book, but I will be pulling quotes from all 5 parts of the book. If you view that as a spoiler, hop off this video, Bunny, and come back when you've read it. Smiley face. I read the first book, Bunny, during my 24-hour reading challenge, which, if you haven't seen, I'm gonna link it up there, and you should go watch it. And I loved the book. At first, I couldn't stand our main character, Samantha Mackey, the narrator of the book, because she was really giving, like, I'm not like the other girls, pretentious, academic, artsy, very just negative vibes. And then as I read on, I realized that was kind of the point. Mona Awad took us on this wild fairy tale that is satirical of art conservatories and these kind of pretentious academic institutions. And once I started reading it with that mindset, boom, I was in. I loved it. That being said, a couple days ago when I started We Love You, Bunny, I went in with that mindset. I was like, I'm not going to judge the characters for speaking the way they do. The style of writing is a critique. It's satirical. It's fun. That's not going to throw me off when I start reading it. But unfortunately, I was wrong. Okay, so this book was broken up into 5 parts. And here's how that went for me. Part 1, sad face. Part 2, smiley face. Part 3, sad face. Part 4, smiley face. Part 5, smiley face. And that's my review. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Just kidding, Bunny. But shockingly, the parts that had the sad face next to it, those parts belonged to our favorite campy villains, the bunnies. It's from the bunnies' perspective, and unfortunately, those are the chapters I will be critiquing today. Parts 2 and 4, which focus on Arias's perspective, completely saved this book for me. It's a new story. I was laughing out loud. I was moved emotionally, I was connected emotionally, and more importantly, entertained, and not checking the page number every 5 seconds to see when the section would end. Okay, I'm being a little harsh, but let me explain. I'm gonna take you through what I liked and what I did not like about the bunnies chapters. In part 1, each couple chapters were split up, with each bunny retelling their sides of the stories that lead up to the events in the first book. And don't get me wrong, there were many moments I enjoyed. Like on page 123, which was still part 1, the Duchess says, I don't normally notice men, married as I am to the sea, which is so fucking funny. The sea? No previous mentions of connection to the ocean, no mention of a boating hobby, but because she's this rich witch, it makes sense for her character, and it's so funny. I didn't need those other details spelled out for me about the character to find that funny. Hint, hint. I loved on page 127 when the Duchess discovers Arias in the garden. When I saw those bare feet, my heart sank. Oh, a homeless. And later on the page, go, I told myself, leave this man before he notices you, or you, and tries to steal or eat your crystals. There are still out of touch absurdities that make Bunny what it is. That's still present in this book, and I love it. It's so a homeless. Like, what? In chapter 5, which is in Creepy Doll's point of view, Ursula refers to the bunnies as an all-female cohort. I'm actually fluid, Vic said, stiffening. And I'm non-conforming, Elsinore said. Beyond the binary. Me too, Coraline whispered. Totally non-conforming. Liar, I thought. She fucking screamed conforming from every cell. But I mumbled, me too, also so non-conforming. So I think we have our non-binary bunny, and then the rest of them are like, oh yeah, me too, like with everything else. And I think it's poking at performative queerness, which admittedly is a dangerous line and quite a nuanced topic, but I like that. I love that Mona Awad isn't afraid to comment on those types of artists artists that use different identities and different cultures and races even to help portray this certain image of what kind of artist they are or cash in on other people's life experiences. I don't think we should ever accuse real people of faking being non-binary or queer or whatever it might be. Just by the way, I think that takes away from people's safety and experimentation with the gender and sexuality spectrum. But I like that Mona Awad was able to showcase its existence in these artistic spaces. Again, I think it's such a sensitive, nuanced conversation that I definitely don't want to offend anyone or dive too deep into right now. But as a non-binary person, I definitely see the performativeness by some people within artistic spaces that is very difficult to call out or even comment on because you never really truly know, and you always want to be respectful of everyone. So I'm gonna very lightly touch that. I love on page 77 when she says, "So very 5-star Alice in Wonderland," which I feel like is Awad nodding at the Goodreads reviews of her first book. And it's things she does like that feels very meta and clever that I really appreciate. But a lot of these chapters felt very repetitive, and like Awad wasn't trusting me as a reader to envision the setting and action, which, you know, an argument that it's purposeful can be made. Awad is obviously a very smart writer, but even if it is purposeful, doesn't mean I like it. Like, they mention Sam being tied up with an axe to her throat like maybe a million times, and I'm not even exaggerating. So many times I was like, it felt like Mona Awad was given a word count minimum that she was trying to reach, like in school. I literally highlighted the words "our captive audience" on page 314 because I felt like I was a captive audience, and it was said so many times I audibly groaned. So very often, the style of the bunnies talking to Sam would be used to give context from the first book to the reader. On page 76, "Not even waiting for a safe ride," which, as you know, Bunny, is a complimentary university car service that everyone at Warren takes after dark so as not to get mugged or murdered. Like, I have a couple problems with this. One, you wouldn't say that to her. You would not say that to Samantha. Like, yeah, she remembers. Like, you're not saying that for Samantha. You're saying that for us as the reader. And it's obvious, and it takes me out of the story. Two, I feel like you can trust us to understand what you mean when you say safe ride, or at least describe it in a different way. Like, you could say, "Not even waiting for a safe ride so I wouldn't get mugged or murdered." Like, that's enough context for us, I feel like, you know? Often I feel like the bunnies would be like, "And if you remember from the first book when this happened, that's why this is happening now in this book because of what happened in the first book," rather than letting the action speak for itself. Like, I promise we'll connect the dots. Even if the reader doesn't immediately get it, doesn't it kind of add to the putting the puzzle pieces together vibe that made the first book so popular in the first place? Hold on, camera's dying, 1 second. Another example of the repetition is on page 121. They describe Sam having dark hair in your face covering one death black eye, wearing some sort of antisocial t-shirt. A Wolverine bearing its bloody jaws, perhaps. This description of Sam is repeated and repeated and repeated by all the bunnies. And I understand the bunnies are one. They are one bunny. But wouldn't it be so fun to hear each different bunny's perspective on what Sam looks like so we can get a more... so we can just get more, especially since we know each bunny does think differently. So I think the bunny's perspective all being written like this, and it all being in part 1, which is like the first 170 something pages, made this book, for me, really difficult to get through at first. I was texting my friend being like, "I don't like it." And then part 2 happens. We finally start getting into the story. Apparently, a lot of people did not like the repetitiveness of the smiley face and frowny face in Reyes's chapters. And, you know, admittedly, it took a second for me as well to get used to, but it was really funny and at times really cute. My favorite moment being, "Before I killed him with axe," sad face. Arius's innocence and his POV of the world was endlessly entertaining, and was definitely a big reason why this book got 3 stars from me. That, and I really liked how the book ends. Which, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Blaine's Book Club if you want to talk about the book with spoilers and discuss the ending and whatever you want to talk about. Because doesn't that sound so fun, Bunny? So, the big question is We Love You, Bunny by Mona Awad bad? In conclusion, at the end of the day, if you are a fan of Bunny, if you push through this book, you will enjoy it. There are tons of very fun and rewarding moments for fans. If you did not like the first book, please don't read this book. It's not as good, it's not for you, and you're gonna hate it. But at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun with this book. See you next week.